Welcome to a quick guide on how to sell your coins at L5. So we've had a number of requests coming in just asking for clarification on the process. It's very easy and very quick. So I'm going to go and show you how to do this. First, you'll head on to the L5 homepage, where the front banner has two options to sell a coin. Learn more about L5. You'll click on Sell a Coin. And once you go to the Sell with L5 page, you're provided with a number of details, just sort of explaining how to best photograph your coins, how to best provide information about that to ensure a smooth sale process. But essentially the first choice you're confronted with is to either create an auction lot or list a coin to sell buy it now. The difference being that L5 actually has about a roughly monthly auction going on, wherein that on a certain day all the lots hammer auction style. So if you can sign a coin to sell in an auction, that coin will then be sold on the day that the lots close. So in this case, if you were to list a coin for auction, your coin would sell on September 30th starting at 1 p.m. The alternative is that L5 offers not only just selling coins via an auction, but you can also list coins as a retail listing. So when you list for buy it now, that coin will go live as soon as you list, and it can be sold at any time. Unlike the auction tied to a specific date, buy it now could be sold at any day. So you're, as a seller, have the choice to choose whether to sell your coin in an auction or buy now. Both have zero fees, and there are pros and cons for both. Auctions have more variability, meaning prices could go higher or lower depending on who shows up. The main incentive with an auction being that sometimes you have a bidding war and you can get an exceptional price for your coin that you couldn't get otherwise at retail. The advantage for retail being that typically it's a quicker process perhaps, and then you don't have to be tied to a specific auction or auction date. So depending on your needs and wants as a seller, you can choose which route to go. I will go ahead and just list the buy it for now, just to show that process. The two selling processes are very similar, pretty much identical. So the first step is to choose the category of the coin you're selling. Most of the categories are already laid out here. You have Greek, Celtic, Oriental Greek, Roman, medieval, and depending on what you're selling, if it does not fit into one of the above categories, you can just click Other. But of course, if your coin matches a category, you'll go ahead and want to select that. And once you've chosen your category that the coin falls in, you'll choose your listing type. Here, of course, I went through the fixed price path, so fixed price is the option. We'll choose fixed price, category Other, then go to the next page. Here it's very simple. You're going to have a listing for your coin. You'll choose a title that describes your coin succinctly. Here I just put the word test, but of course you would describe what you're selling. Your description, likewise, you could include some information, perhaps a write-up about the ruler, maybe describe what makes this coin stand out as interesting, and then specifically for the description of the obverse, reverse, the coin IDs, the diameter and weight, all of that will be included in the additional detail sections below the description. So here you would include a description of the obverse. I'll just go ahead and put test. Test also here. You can choose your numismatic IDs, you can choose your reference, and put your number here. Coin material, they have the different metal types, of course, gold, silver, bronze, electrum, and so forth. So you would pick the applicable metal here. Just for the test, we'll say bronze. You can include a coin weight and access, 10 grams just as a sample number here. And then the price, you have a sample, or you have a price you'll put for your listing that indicates what you wish to sell the coin for. Here we'll choose a random amounts. This is indicative of what you're looking to sell for, and you have the option then also to accept offers. Offers being that if you opt in for this, then anyone can offer a number below your retail listing price. This can be advantageous to negotiate with a buyer, perhaps make a sale, facilitate a sale more quickly. Pros and cons, of course, with that. So as a seller, you have the choice to include whether or not you want to accept offers. Quantity typically will be 1 unless you're selling a large number of coins, but usually you're just going to have the pictures with the coin you sell, so quantity is almost always just going to stay 1. And you can go ahead and include that. And then for images, you'll actually include the images of your coin. Obverse, reverse, maybe reproducing provenance, different aspects. If there's an old coin tag, you can include photographs for that. There's also the option to upload a YouTube video, which is great. We found that in our research, the more pictures you have, the better a coin sells. And then also if you have an in-hand YouTube video that can actually increase the hammer at an auction quite a bit, or also sell a coin more quickly at retail. So if you so choose to upload an in-hand video, you can do that here, either by uploading an actual video file or linking an existing YouTube URL. Probably the most important section down here will be shipping and payments. So here you can choose the service of shipping you will use. If you're based in the US, probably USPS, UPS, or FedEx. Here we'll just say USPS Worldwide, and you will go ahead and choose the cost of that shipping. We'll say $30 here, but depending on your location and the service you choose, that will vary. So it's important to make sure you get that right, to make sure you're charging the proper amount to your customers. Then for payment and tax details, this will depend on what you as a seller wants. You can opt in to accept PayPal, yes or no. You can also include certain payment instructions, maybe here for like a wire transfer, if that's something you're interested in as a seller. You can also include a fee for credit card usage. You can also indicate if you accept cash. There's a lot of flexibility here. So you as a seller then can go in and edit your payment settings or your tax settings to fit the needs of your business and your model. And then here at the bottom, we also have the start and duration. So here you can actually choose what day and time you wish for your lot to go live. If you want it to go live right away, leave that blank. For most cases, you probably just leave that blank and your listing will go live immediately. But if for some reason you wanted to stagger out listings, you can do that here. There's also the duration. You can choose a lot to last 7 days, 10 days, 14, 30, or also do a good till canceled. Of course, selling on L5 has no fees. It's all free. I think eBay sometimes charges for that. I'd have to check, but for L5, all of those options are free. So the easiest is probably just good till canceled. You'll click that and your lot will stay up until either you take it down or the coin sells. And so once you've gone through this process, you've chosen either to list it in an auction or list it as fixed price. You've given it a title, a description. You've included the necessary information here for the additional details. You've listed your price, the quantity, your photos, your YouTube video, your shipping rates and payment, all of that specified. You're done, good to go. You'll click create listing, and then the coin that you've listed goes live. I, of course, did not upload a photo, but if you did, you'd see a photo here. I'll go over to PowerPoint very quickly to show some screenshots of the process. So this is what it would look like if you listed an item. You would see the picture, your title and a description, and then your seller name and the price. There's also going to be a banner saying congratulations, your item is listed. Now, an important qualification, depending on if you're a first-time seller, you might have to go through a manual review, which means that when you submit your listing, someone at the L5 team will check it first to make sure everything checks out. If that's the case, there might be a couple hour delay in between submission of listing and the listing going live. But if you have sold with L5 before, that'll be instantaneous. But either way, either immediately or after a short period to review, your lot will go live. You'll see it on the website. You'll receive an email notification letting you know that your listing is live, that the creation was successful, and you'll also receive a link going to the L5 page hosting that. And sort of on the left here, you see what it would look like. You would have the picture of your coin, the price, the buyer's fee, the community information and grade, all of that good information. So pretty much like any other standard L5 lot, the interface is the same. And then more interestingly, once you've sold, you'll receive an email letting you know that a payment was received for an invoice. So here we can see that we just chose a 1 cent, 2 cent price just to show an example. But whatever your invoice total would be, that number would show up in the email. And then also on the L5 website itself, it would show that the item is no longer available for purchase. And then if you go into your settings as a seller, you would then see the actual invoice where you have the seller, the buyer, the invoice number, the email of the buyer, date created, the address of the seller, address of the buyer, and then the description of all the coins purchased, the subtotal, shipping costs, sales, the tax, sales tax there, the total, and then you would have also below this the comments, and you would also have the payment history showing that the payment was sent, the method through which it was sent, and then also just how that process looked, and then just verifying confirmation. And so of course you as a seller now have listed your item on L5, you received payment, now you would go ahead and ship it and then mark that coin as shipped in the L5 website. But overall, this is a very simple process, as you've seen. The only catch up or hang up is that if you're a first time seller, there is going to be a delay between when you submit your coin and when the listing actually goes live, both for auction and buy it now. And the reason for that is L5 wants to protect the community and have a focus on a healthy and safe environment for buying and selling ancient coins. So we do manually check first-time sellers on the platform, but again, as soon as you've listed your first lot successfully and we verify that the coin is authentic and that you are a legitimate seller, then in the future all of your lots will go up instantaneously. So that's just a one-time thing the first time you sell. But yeah, the process is very simple, very quick, very easy. So I hope this video helped to clarify the process of selling on L5. And if you have any more questions or would like more videos on specific topics, let me know. I can also perhaps do a video on, in-depth invoice management, things like that. But for the most part, I think the interface is pretty intuitive and the process very simple. So I hope this was enjoyable and informative. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I am Sam.